Hello everyone, PallyTime here. Welcome back to the A through Z playthrough. In today's video, we have landed upon Tychus. He's one of the characters that launched with the game, but he was very different back then. For instance, one major thing, Odin used to give him an additional health bar, very similar to how Chen's Earth, Wind, and Fire works. But the Odin, you would basically let someone jump on top of you, deal all of the damage that they could, but right before you died, you would press this button for an entirely new health bar, and then of course you could rain destruction down upon your foes. That doesn't work like that anymore. On March 29th, hey, that's a good date, 2016, we saw a full rework of Tychus that made him the character that he is today. Instead of him just being a damage dealer, they wanted to make him a direct counter to the ever-growing warrior meta that we were seeing in the game at the time. This is back when Resurgence of the Storm was prevalent on every single tank, and they would be resurrecting on all the time. At least I think it's about that same time. It may not be, but that's what's in my head, so that's what I said. Tychus got a new trait back then, his minigun. This used to have a wind-up. It doesn't anymore. You just press the button and you start dealing 2.5% of a target's maximum health every time you shoot, which is 4 times a second. Holy moly, for 3 seconds. This was actually significantly less when this was first changed. It was only 1.5%, so this has gotten a lot better. We saw talents like That's the Stuff become the main way to play Tychus. You picked this in every single build. However, previously it used to work a little different. Right now, Minigun heals Tychus for 100% of his bonus damage dealt after Minigun expires. Well, it just used to heal you in real time. So they kind of designed Tychus to be this tank shredder, but what he turned into was a shredder of every single character. So eventually they nerfed this to make it so you only get healed after the expiration. Tychus has some phenomenal build diversity, at least that's what it looks like right now. There are builds focusing on his grenade, builds focusing on his Q, and of course several different builds focusing on the minigun. His win rate right now is 51.3%, so a little bit better than a coin flip. He has a popularity of a whopping 26.57% and a ban rate of 8.15. Tychus has never been a hero that felt natural for me to play. I never quite got it, but I did do a lot of practice leading up to today's video, and I hope you guys enjoy it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on the Cursed Hollow today. The friendly team, Tychus, Whitemane, Tassadar, Stitches, and Artemis. The enemy team, Ariel, Vala, the Elite Tauren, Chieftain, Mephisto, and Tracer. Tychus has always been a character that I have struggled to understand, but I'm trying. And I hope you see at least a little bit of progress for any of you longtime viewers watching today's video. I do have a plan for a build, and hopefully it works out. We're going to go for Press the Advantage at level 1. This gives us increased tech range by 1. Now, Tychus is all about standing his ground and dealing as much damage as humanly possible, usually with the use of his minigun, which is our trait that's on a... Oh, we got spins, boys. We got spins. Respect this. What the fuck? That was so rude. I moved up to the front. I was respecting. All right, well, I think we're dead right at the start of this. That's a pretty good start. Luckily for me, I did make it out. We need to reset after that. We need to reset. My trust has been lost. Give them nothing. Take from them. Actually, I'll just run down. So, minigun, 12-second cooldown, allows our auto attack to deal percentage-based damage whenever this is active, which is huge. Tychus attacks 4 times a second. So if every single auto attack is also stripping 2.5% of a target's maximum health, it literally doesn't even matter if they're a tank. You can hit Tracer, and that's still more damage than Tracer's likely going to be able to manage. Can I get my region globe? Thank you. Okay, now we fight. So if ETC moves up here, look how fast we just shred into him. That wasn't even with the minigun. I mean, he was taking a lot of minion damage. That's the minigun right there, dude. And that's a fucking 4-man rotation to the bottom lane to kill the streamer. You love to see it. Woo! Yeah! Great! At level 4, there is a few really good choices here, actually. We can go for In the Rhythm, which used to be standardized. This was the talent you picked on Tychus. I don't really think that's the case anymore. It's not guaranteed anyway. In the Rhythm, if we attack someone with our minigun, it increases the duration of our minigun damage, which sounds excellent. There is a talent later on that you can kind of get to work with this. I think I am going to go for this talent. But the other choices are equally good as well. Yes, I can do it! I can play this character! I've been trying so hard! So, all I did there was move up, shoot the guy with the minigun. When he goes to back away, use our running gun on our E ability, 10-second cooldown, but a short-range dash. And then I use that to keep up with the target. Immediately swap. We're just going to minigun this guy if he walks up. So just keep it going. Fuck it. Immediately swapped over to using Overkill, which is our Q ability. This is what we're supposed to use to kind of chase targets down. There are some really good Overkill builds. I don't know if we're going to be pursuing that today. Oh yeah, look at that minigun. Look at that minigun go. Unfortunately, the enemy team has beat our team by quite a considerable margin to get down here. We can interrupt this if we need to. Stitches showing up is going to be a very big help. Let's just overkill this guy. Dash in grenade. Ooh, he teleported away. Well, why don't you come on? Oh, that was actually really good. Nice job, Mario. Very nice. We're going to hit the enemy ETC as long as we can. Unfortunately, that was a pretty weak minigun. ETC is going for the channel now. We're just going to move up and try to own this area a little bit. If he pushes past me, that's fine. But with his friendly team coming in to reinforce a little bit more, it becomes a little less fine. I think I am going to get melting points. I'm not dedicated to the grenade build, but this gives us a lot of lane clear that I really like to have. That was some really good minigun damage, but unfortunately I went too far, overextended, and was taken down. Tychus's limited range means most of the difficulty of this character is simply standing where you should be. And as you can see, I'm a little overconfident in my ability to stay alive sometimes. Whitemane's out of mana. This fight has gone on for about 17 years too long, and it looks like we might have to give it up soon, but Stitches is not done. One more hook onto the objective, pulling them away. Tassadar looking to do something similar, and it works! ETC taken down. 2 members of the enemy team has fallen. We are back onto this objective, team. Let's hit with the overkill here. Use our dash to gain some range. Swap over to the minigun while they're sitting under the wall. And it looks like we have claimed the first of the tributes, and one of the longest tribute fights I've seen in quite some time. The friendly team is staying ahead on XP. We are level 8 to their level 7. Let's see if we can finish off. No, not quite. Finish off that tower before the enemies come here. So our level 7 talent's actually super cool for lane clear. You guys know that I prioritize that a lot in my builds, and this is what we're using. There is a grenade talent pretty early, yeah, at level 1, that increases the range and damage of your grenades by quite a lot. But this one will apply burning to targets, and it actually does so much damage to minions, especially if you grab that level 1 talent, that you can just kind of throw a grenade into a wave, and then that's really all you need to do. There's not too much else you really need to accomplish with that. We don't have the minigun right now, and that knockback from Ariel does stop me from securing that kill, but luckily for me, our team picked it up, no problem. Now, we are going to grab Commandeer Odin. This is a very old ability that used to work very differently. Now it is a great tool for just poking at enemies at long range. Grenade is down. Looks like we don't even need it. Perfect. Staggering their deaths right before the objectives is one of the biggest tools we have in our arsenal for actually securing something. Let me get away from ETC here. I'm just going to get into the Odin right now. I'm unstoppable while jumping into this form, and I have 25 armor while I'm in this form as well. Our level 1 talent is increasing the range of this as well, I believe, and the friendly team does secure the objective. No problem. We are going to rotate down to the bottom lane. Looks like they're having a little bit of fun down here. The minigun is not active, and I'm pretty out of position, actually. I went the opposite way of my team. Luckily, that regen globe and this sippy cup are going to get me back into fighting form very quickly. Tracer in the bush. Let's just hit her with the minigun. ETC moving up. Let's just hit him with the minigun. Literally anyone that walks towards me, they get the minigun. Vala is not getting out of that base that Stitches pulled her into. The grenade going out does hit the minion wave, and we have a 2-level lead on this enemy team right now. Minigun is ready again, so we move up and we shred with it, bro. Yes, we did move up a little too far, and we did take a lot of tower damage, but you know what else we did? We kept ETC in range that entire time, which is one of the most difficult things to do on Tychus. The objective is coming up in just 15 seconds. We're going to fall back to the base. We're almost looking at a talent tier lead on these guys, especially if our Artanis continues to soak at the top lane for just a moment longer. Stitches is in a spot to get some XP too. We might just get it from the trickle down XP because we killed that building in the bottom lane. That's a bad time to get that. I'm going to go immediately for the channel. We do see 2 members of the enemy team on the map and 2 more kind of hovering around me. Vala going an interesting way, but ETC does catch me, and 4 members of the friendly team inside of the fucking mosh pit. Beautifully done. We're not going to make it out of this, so all I did was turn minigun on and start shooting to build up the in the rhythm stacks. Now, the longer I shoot people, the longer I can shoot people within the rhythm. We've added 2.25 second duration onto our trait, which normally only has a 3-second duration. So we're looking at 5.5 seconds right now, just because I was shooting stuff. Now, this is where things start to get a little weird, and there's some counter synergy in here, but I wanted to show you this build because there is a way to capitalize on the healing. We're going to go for that's the stuff. Our minigun is going to heal Tychus, but it's kind of weird how the heal works. We can shoot at a target and build up a healing reserve, basically. That healing reserve will not heal us until the duration of our minigun has ended. So if you need healing, that can be a little problematic. If you have, let's say, a 10-second minigun duration, that's a long time to wait for the actual healing. However, we have Odin, and if we see our health at a spot that we want to lock in, we can get into the Odin, become unstoppable, and then snapshot that healing onto our character with bonus armor as well. So these 2 talents really work well together, and they can keep you alive quite well. But without Odin, this talent feels a little weird. And I just wanted to keep that in mind while we were looking at it. The friendly team grabbed boss at the perfect time. The enemy team also grabbed boss at the perfect time. We're moving in with just some minigun shots here on that guy as he runs away. Again, anytime I can sneak minigun damage in, I want to be doing that. It is nothing but a net positive for me. ETC going for the channel again. I don't know if we can hold this one off. We don't have our Artanis with us, but we can at least posture a little bit for it. ETC did move in on me and stunned me right as my minigun was going off, which kind of sucks. Let me see if I can knock him back. We can just shoot into Tracer for quite a lot of damage there. Artanis has joined us. We need to be very aware of the incoming mosh pit that could happen at any moment. I'm trying to keep a respectable distance from ETC. Looks like someone was grabbed over the wall. We're going to run in with the overkill, hit the grenade after, and then make sure I don't group up on my teammates because I don't want to get moshed. Good damage into the... I can't remember that character's name right now. Oh, yeah, I can interrupt this. God, I'm an idiot. I was like, well, I wasn't in that mosh. That's pretty good. And forgot that I could literally help my team. Minigun back on, but I am blinded. We're not getting any quest stacks. And there we go. We take it down, lose a building because the boss was still pushing. That boss is going to be dead in mere seconds. We don't even have to chase after it. And now with 4 members of the enemy team dead, we can push up pretty aggressively versus this enemy team. We are going to go for sizzling attacks. Basic attacks deal bonus damage to heroes. This is without our minigun. So just auto-attacking a hero. And remember, we attack 4 times a second. This is going to deal 1% of their health every second. And that stacks with minigun. It's crazy good. ETC is starting to look for me down here. We saw him start to rotate, and I don't want to be here if he shows up with his friends. So actually, he's stayed middle. I'm going to stay in. Keep shooting. They could wrap around and do a lot of damage to us, so we need to be very mindful of... Whoa, where's my fucking character going? We need to be very mindful of where they are. They're not rotating, though. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Here he comes. Here he comes. Okay, so if I was actually hitting that building instead of wandering off on accident, we would have had a little more progress on that. But that's okay. We did fine. We did fine. Artan is taking top lane right now as well as the enemy team rotated down to defend that. Honestly, I think we push back in and finish that building. I can do it by myself, too, with my grenade. Look at this. Look at team player Tychus here. Melt! Perfect. Friendly team is on the same talent tier as the enemy now, both at level 16 tier, but we do have a 2-level lead, so that means our stats are higher. We can take this camp from right under their noses. I did briefly see a Tychus in the belly, or ETC in the belly. No way I can get over there to that conflict, so let's just get this and run soon after. Try to reconvene with our team. Looks like we have a pretty decent run up here. We should be able to get back. No problem. I don't know how white main works at all. I just know that if white main has mana, no one dies. So whenever I see a white main with mana, I'm just gonna hold my ground and hope for the best. Oh, I am getting flanked here. We're immediately going to turn this around and try to get away. ETC was in mosh pit range there, but opted not to go for it. This might just be an Odin situation. I'm going to Odin early, and then we'll just poke at these guys with our abilities. I am in the wrong spot, and if they turn around, I'm going to be in trouble. But it looks like they're not too fast on that turnaround, at least. And we can keep poking at these guys with our long-range abilities. Bit of a questionable engagement on my part there, but at the end of the day, it all worked out, so I'm not too upset about it. The entirety of the enemy team has disappeared. I'm just going to auto attack this wall down, and then I'm going to get in this bush. I'm not going to stand in that bush where they saw me. Tracer's down the bottom lane, so we have numbers advantage here. We can afford to push in really aggressively. We do see Artanis trying to move up for exactly that. We don't want to give ETC the mosh, but I do want the minigun stacks. Perfect. Even if I die after that, it was worth it just to get the stacks. I'm going to try to overkill backwards. Tracer doing a lot of damage to me, and her parting gift explosives are going to take me down. So she did manage to get up to the fight eventually. We are going to see the enemy team start to crumble over the pressure of this team fight, though. Ariel being taken down, and now the only remaining member is Vala, who we see scurry out at the bottom. Top lane's looking really easy to push in, especially with 4 members of the enemy team dead, and we have 4 members alive, and with catapults moving in, this should be pretty easy to take. Our minigun in the rhythm has added 3 seconds onto our minigun duration. And at level 20, I'm going to go for Bob and Weave. Run and gun and Odin's thrusters gain 2 additional charges. This allows us to maneuver a little bit more in team fights. We can just dash around a little bit more, but it also increases our firing range. So hitting someone with the minigun becomes even easier than it was before. And of course, this stacks with our level 1 range increase as well. If someone's running away, Tychus can now stick to them like glue. If I start to win an engagement, this talent just helps me win the engagement even more. It's really, really good. Friendly team is looking for boss right now. ETC might have caught the scent of this, but we don't see anyone else really rotating up here at the current moment. Everyone kind of disappearing now, though. Tracer's still in the bottom lane. We don't see too much of anything else. The level 20 advantage should lend itself really well to a successful objective here. We're going to turn the minigun on and just stick to ETC. You know you pissed off the cow when you get solo moshed. That's when you know you're being a little too irritating, when he pulls out the solo ultimate to shut you down, and it was only for seconds. We do see Mephisto in a bit of a bad spot here, and if he's teleporting around, that means we know where he's going to be. The grenade damage over time may have been enough, but Whitemane helps us secure that kill. We do have boss on course, so we should probably just walk right up there. Stitch is tanking the building for us, allows us to do that just fine. And let's end this game inside of the Odin, just to say we did. Now, this may very well have been my best showing on Tychus that we have ever put on the internet, ever. It may have looked at times like I knew what I was doing, but I was riding this entire match on the edge of my seat the entire time. I hope some of this information is helpful to you. It does seem like there's a lot of ways to play Tychus right now. His talent diversity is actually really, really healthy, especially in the later half of the game. You can go grenade build, you can go for a Q build, or a minigun focus thing like we did. And even in the realm of miniguns, there's a bunch of variety with different ways of enhancing the minigun. We went for press the advantage into in the rhythm, melting point, commandeer Odin. Is it? Yeah, it's commandeer Odin. Yeah. That's the stuff. Sizzle in attacks and bob and weave at level 20. We ended up being top damage for the team, but not in the game. But I will take that any day of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, and I will see you again very soon.